Hunter x Hunter, episode 136, and no manga this week. So this is probably going to be a lot shorter, but it was interesting. It wasn't that. It's a little rough in the beginning, but let's go ahead and start. Let's go by some of my topics here, and we'll really branch it all out. Okay, in the beginning, okay, there's Lobster Guy. I heard him called Bloster and like a few other names or whatever. But anyway, Lobster Guy and Welfin. And I like the kind of nostalgic thing. I kind of fall for that. It's the last time we'll see each other, and the whole thing. Don't die until you die. Which is actually not a bad way to think about it. And the whole thing of Hina, the one in what she put her feet on Bizif, right? The guy that was the political criminal guy.
Right.
And then she's also the one that was trying to hurry up Welfin. And she's also they got into the whole thing about her. She's like, oh, I can't wait to meet Gyro-sama. And he's like, what about the last two, Samas or whatever, the last people and she said, well, they're dead, and I live my life for the future, so she's just like, whatever,
Yeah.
She keeps moving on. And I really like the whole thing about Bizif said, I am a Class A political criminal. And, and so anyway, so he's a Class A political criminal, and you got Gyro, you got Hina. Hina hasn't showed me too much so far. All she's basically done is kind of hung out. She's saved. Bizif had to bribe her to save him. So, but anyway, they're going to get with Gyro. I still look forward to it, but there's nothing there so far. And I don't know, like I said, there's probably not that much to talk about it, unless there's something you want to talk about before we get to.
Does Hina have any memories of when she was moving?
I don't think we've got in depth with her. That's what I'm saying. I don't think there's much of a care. I don't think they've done anything with her, except just being kind of,
Because I'm wondering, like, when she actually teamed up with Welkin to go find Gyro. Like, they don't actually tell you when, right?
I think she was more or less. Well, I think the connection is Bizif, not Welfin. Bizif was under rubble, and he had to bribe her to get it off him.
Right.
And I think that's the connection between him. And then it was just kind of, when she lost the person that was in charge before, she's just like, okay, well, go wherever you're going now. I think that's the way it went down.
So she's pretty much a tag along.
I think so. We haven't seen much of her. We may not see a whole lot of her. I don't really know.
Not like a typical follower type of character. She just wants
Yeah, I think so. And now we get to the whole. We can get into the whole thing. The real Reina, not the fake one. The real Reina actually goes to the one that looks like an ant. Actually, makes it back to her town, and that was it was interesting because that was, as it's been described by reviewers and everything, that was the beginning. It was her and her brother, seeing the Chimera and getting consumed, right out the bat, and then here it's sorta a happy ending, kinda. She goes back to the village, and Colt is still,
I saw it at the closure for her.
Yeah.
She went back home.
There was
her brother out there.
Yeah, so there's still a thing that those two meeting, but I don't know if Tagashi's going to spend any time to completely close that up because they're not. But then again, I don't know. It might be she might end up visiting Colt, who's kind of taking care of.
He's saying, like, I can't believe that the mother could look at her and then know that that's her daughter. Like, that's some connection there because. Like that part just felt so like fake to me. Like there's no way a person would look at that and see their child in there. It's weird.
If Tagashi would have showed her fidgeting or doing some body movement or something in the beginning with her mother, like twiddling her thumbs or doing something like that, right? And then
Something that reminds her, yeah.
Yeah, then because I agree with you that there should have been at least something because otherwise it's a little shaky. But
maybe. I was gonna say maybe Takashi was showing like the mother's instinct, like the mother knows what their child looks like inside and out.
Well, it could have been. It could have been. I mean, but it definitely happened. Something that I really actually liked, which I think was just kind of was sped by, was the elder woman in the village who went to the lobster guy and was like, hey, we're going to give you some food. We're going to have a feast. You should join. You should have some food with us. Right? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what? You are one wise elder, because these guys we're taking people away and eating them and stuff. And I'm like, you're wanting to get this guy and make sure he's not hungry. And then you know what? Even better, if they could keep him around and feed him, he could be like a security guard around there. I'm like, I like the way she's thinking.
Yeah.
So that just made like a whole 100. I don't even know if Tagashi was going for anything like that. That just totally made sense.
Wait, I have a question. Where that village is at, was it inside the NGL territory?
I don't know the abbreviation, but I think it. Yeah, I think that whole island or something was under that one country. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the NGL part, where they go to fight the Chimera ants.
Yeah, they're all back to nature and no modern stuff.
Yeah. That whole village was part of it.
Yeah.
Where Rena went back to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm confused.
No, I think it makes sense. That's because and that was an interesting twist too. I mean, who would have thought? Here's these people that are going, but there are communities in the world like that. They don't want to modernize and they want to live simply. So it was just interesting that got thrown in there. Another thing was different from. I went back and looked at the manga. Is the manga? At the very end where the lobster guy is leaving. Hey, I'm not down for that and everything and all that. The anime is really good, but the manga was a little better because it actually left something out. Is when Reina goes to him and she just like in the anime, all I saw her was say thank you, right? In the manga, she's actually like, hey, come and have a feast with us. And he's getting like, hey, what's going on with me? He's getting emotional or something. And it looks like he's going back in the manga. But in the anime, I think they just left that off. Not an important point.
She did say in the anime, come meet with us. She said
no. Oh, she did? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right there, then? Okay, well, I just missed it then. Okay, good. And let's see. Now, like I say, anything I missed, of course, we can always go back. And then we get to Colt, the brother of Reina with the wrong Reina, a.k.a. Kite, the last sole member of the Chimera royal family. So, yeah. Yeah, that's some shocking stuff. And as a matter of fact, there was one really, just for, and I don't have the chapter. I don't know, Sean, if you remember it or whatever. There's one chapter. It's where it's almost entirely of Kite, and I guess as a teenage girl or a young woman or something.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. I don't know which chapter it is. I remember what you was talking about.
And the art is horrendous in it. It's the worst I've seen. It was just horrible. You know what I mean? I was almost looking for crayons or something. The artwork. It is. It was horrendous. It was absolutely horrendous. But her guardian there. I didn't see Colt. I didn't see Colt. I remember seeing Colt in there. But like the person with her was the koala bear that has the jug and can spit out
the
like,
detective.
Yeah, the detective. That was a weird. Well, I can't. Whenever they get to that, the anime gets to that, I don't know what they're going to do. They may just skip it. And I don't even. That was odd. But anyway, I totally got distracted out of this chapter. So anyway, we get to Morel. Like I say, we can always go back. And what do you think about that whole thing when Morel's on the phone? He's talking to Colt, and he's like, she keeps saying she's not Reina. And he's listening and listening. Well, who is she? I'm Kai! And he's like, and then it clicks with Morel, right? And he's like, Killua, go on! And he runs out of there with like the IV or whatever and everything, and he runs out of there to go tell him.
I think that will make sense that it connected with Merle, because because remember when they first went to that island? It was Kite and his group of people, and they figure out that, oh, this is too tough, and then they hire some real nin user hunters. So they must have a connection there. So when Marl heard the word Kite, he probably like understand.
Oh yeah, it just made perfect sense. So, but like I said, this leads to a whole bunch of stuff. You know how, and Kite does look very human, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, I don't know. That's going to be it's going to be pretty interesting. And then we have okay, and then there's the whole thing.
Do you think when Morel, like realized like what they were saying, like what do you think his thought process was at that moment? That Kite's still alive? Is that what you think?
Well, he knows that the Chimera, like they consume the brain or whatever, and that some of these people have memories, right? And I believe he understands that. So I think I think the connection's there, and he understands. I think because that's the only reason I could think he'd get so excited to tell them about it.
Yeah, it makes sense. I was wondering though if maybe like the reason why he ran or whatever was to tell them that like basically like that there's something connected to Kite. Not necessarily that he was alive, but like that there might be like a clue, like what happened to him or something. I don't know.
Right. Well, there was some kind of positive something that he was going to relate to.
Yeah.
Sure. All right, and then there's the thing with Killua is there at Gon's, by the window with Gon and everything, and what really got me was is how hurt he was that Gon, it wasn't, because it was the two of them, right? And then and Gon didn't ask him to go and fight Pito, to take him with him, right? And
Yeah.
I think Killua's also kind of guilty. He's angry at Gon for not bringing, and the whole thing about him, yeah, you do all this stuff, and I'm always the one cleaning up the mess, So there was a lot of resentment, the whole relationship there, a lot of resentment. But also, he just never wavered that he was going to help his friend either. It's ironic that the people that can hurt you the most are the people that you're closest to.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so that was really. So I really got that. It was odd though that Nav, the one that got totally effed up from Pito's aura and everything, and it's odd that he's the one that's getting the doctors for Gon and everything. And I look at it and I'm like, dude, you need like some of those doctors yourself. You know what I mean? I mean, he still looks messed up. That was
It was pretty much fall off. That's it.
Yeah. Poor Nav. He was all kind of messed up. And then we got to yeah, go ahead.
They said that all the Chimera ants were being reclassified as magical beasts, right?
No.
No, what they said was the politicians classified them as magical beasts, but
yeah, in order to make it so that they aren't criminals, right?
it was pretty much like a cover-up.
Right.
I wanted. My understanding is that I think that it's okay. There's two different ways to take this. That all the Chimera are going to be classified as a different kind of magical beast, which kind of makes us go, well, so we have magical beasts running around in here that you guys are okay with, and but the other thing is, or is it just Colt and Kite are going to be classified as magical beasts?
Right.
I took it, and I don't know, because I didn't think of it the other way. I just took it was going to be them individually, and not all of
well,
the.
I was just thinking about the octopus and also I forget his name, and also the chameleon.
Yeah, they're allies.
Too. Yeah.
That would make perfect sense, because they need something. Yeah, they need some kind of something to keep them from getting. getting locked up. So that makes perfect sense. Yes.
Yeah, I was saying like my understanding was they classified them as magical beasts, but to Colt and Kite and the ones that helped out, they were classified as the good magical beasts.
Yeah. Because they look all so different. I don't even think that they're aware, of the other Chimera.
Yeah, see, I thought that the reason why they classify them as magical beasts is so that they're not associated with ants. And if they're not associated with the Chimera ants, then people have no reason to hate them or like to condemn them because the government is trying to protect them.
Yeah.
It's kind of convenient, isn't it? It works out pretty well.
Yeah.
I like it. That worked out pretty good. And then, like I say, we can always go back on anything. And then at the very end, which got everybody, the beginning was kind of, a little bit. At the end, have Gin and the Zodiacs. And it's like, yes.
Man, I'm excited about Killua doing that whole thing with what's his name?
Oh yeah.
Luca.
And the little girl with
Yeah,
a
yeah.
All right, spoilers.
personality.
Okay, spoilers. Anybody that doesn't want to hear something is past 1 in 36, go now, because we're just gonna go spoil like crazy from here on. All right, go ahead. Fire up.
No, it's just really awesome when Killua like has to figure out how to trick his family into not knowing the secret between like the conditions to activate her ability and stuff, and he's gonna sneak around with her and sneak her out of the house and go see Gon. Like, I want to see that whole thing because his sister is really whacked, really whacked, and I just want to see how she comes out in the anime. How her personality is on screen. So.
Yeah.
Oh, for me, it's like, and it's weird because right after the Chimeras, you're like, wow, that was pretty dark. And then it's like this little girl and her turning into this other thing with just darkness in her eyes and everything. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh, this. And she turns into this other, and she only calls me, this one calls me Killua and this one calls me, brother or something. And it's like, what? And she could kill people. She asked them for like their fingernails and all kind of. It's like, what? This is like freaking me out.
It's just cool because Killua like keeps all of his secrets from his family like about her. Like he makes them think they know about her ability, but they don't. And he makes them like, he actually like plots like behind their backs to use her and to to do what he has to do regardless of their wishes. So it's just cool seeing Killua go against his family like that.
I was gonna ask, do you think the whole time when Kalu was in the hospital, do you think that he was plotting how to use her to revive Gon?
Oh, absolutely. He'd already committed to it because he told Nav, he says, "Oh, I'm going to save Gon," and he went right back to the he goes. He's already committed. I know how to do it. But yeah, the whole thing about he knew that there were other conditions. That would work. They're saying like, okay, we know there's 3 conditions or 4 or something on how it works, and he knew at least one more of how everything works. So they figured out that he knew because what he was doing wasn't making sense just with the conditions that they had. So it was interesting. And I like how Togashi plans it all out. All the rules, that she has to know your name before she can ask something from you. And you have to be present. So it was like that one older butlers. I like the butlers. I think I'm the only person that actually liked the idea that their butlers were badass. But whatever.
Yeah.
So she faded. She's like, okay, now I'll fade my presence. So because she knows her name, and she's like, so I don't get in any more trouble. I'm just going to fade my presence so she can't detect me. I'm not in the immediate area, so I'm out of the whole.
And
loop.
like her ability, if I remember correctly, her ability is like a different personality, right? Like
Yeah.
a different sister. So it's like there's 2 of them that he talks to. The one that doesn't have the ability that everybody thinks does, and the other one that like is a complete separate personality but has all the net, right?
And oh yeah, and at the end he's like, okay, now remember you can't come out anymore, and then right then it's like, oh, she's so mad at you, I can't believe you hurt her. And it's like, oh my gosh, they talk to each other. You know, they know they're these two personalities and that one girl know each other. They can communicate with each other. And it's like, oh, because you're like, okay, the cheap and easy way to do this is like, okay, I'm making you now. You have to swear you'll never come out, and you're like, okay, this whole thing's done. This is buttoned up, but no, too easy, too easy. So now so right now he's swore he's going to spend the rest of his time with his sister, right? So so Killa was out of it. Gon can't sense I guess his aura's there, but he can't sense it. So those two are just completely sidelined right now.
Have you noticed when the little girl was in the house, they treat her like she was some abomination, but when Kahlua have her, he was always nice. You think that was one of the conditions that he saw?
No, there was a fifth thing that he said. He actually said it was okay. These are I don't remember the conditions, and I don't have them brought up. But there was at least one more set of circumstances that he said, because remember he had it set up to where he could actually ask for a wish, and he canceled it. And they're like, how did this? Wait a minute. What are the rules? How did he do that? So
I think you need to ask her like in a certain way. You have to ask politely. You have to. You can't make her cry. There's a lot of different rules that Killer knows exactly what he has to do.
Yeah, he knows what to do, and I really don't want to get technical because I don't have it in front of me, and I really don't want to turn into a lawyer. I don't want to turn into like a lawyer.
Yeah. So
I don't want to get too in depth.
We could do that in next week or 2 weeks when the episode airs, when you see her.
Sure, when it comes up, we'll need to bring up exactly how the rules over and cover them. But then again, they cover them right into the manga. So, what was it, Sean?
No, I was saying that her conditions, her give and take has to be even. That's what I remember.
Well, there's, the prime thing was, what was it? The thing that made it off the scale. There was a condition that sent it off the scale. I think if you asked for something small, or it was small, or for someone else, there was some. Gosh, I wish I remembered this. It was. Now I'm gonna have to reread it. It was small or for someone else. There was some condition that if it wasn't for you or it wasn't something big or something, then the price was small, right? Or negligible. But if there was something, I guess, just for you, or was big or something, then that was one of the rules. But damn, I don't remember. So anyway, we're talking about stuff none of us have the exact rules and everything up for. So I guess we're just kind of.
So how long do you think the anime is going to go? I'm surprised we're actually still going right now. You think it's just going to get up to the very beginning of the voting and then stop at the voting?
It would. We had to be close, don't we? We have to be really.
Yeah, like I said, I want to see Killa's sister. If I can get that, I'll be happy.
Yeah, kind of the little mini thing there before they get to the. I would, I'd be happy to see that myself. That was really good, and we got to see a lot in there. I can't remember his name. The guy that looks like a clown, he's in there.
Hisoka.
Oh yeah, we get to see him in there. A lot of people. I thought it was it was a lot of fun.
And your favorite end user, the cow dude.
Who?
The cow guy. The one that looks like a cow.
Oh, the cow dude. I've got to where I like him, the cow cop, the law enforcer, cow dude. I like that guy. I'm liking him all right. He seems like he's going to be. I like that character. Okay. All right, but let's see. Now, is there anything else Hunter x Hunter-ish you guys want to go ahead and cover or talk about, or is there anything else in the episode? Or
I'm good.
You good? All right. Sean, anything?
Yeah, I'm good now.
All right. I think we pretty much covered it. I mean, the thing is the chapters are just I mean, there's usually so much in there, it's just mind-boggling. But anyway,
I gotta go into spoilers for next week in order to keep the video going.
yeah. Well, anyway, okay. I guess we'll go ahead. And, if nobody has anything, we'll go ahead and end it here, and and that'll be it for this week. And then we got hopefully everybody can get in for Naruto tomorrow, because I think that there's definitely more stuff going on. I saw the anime today too. All right, and that's it. I appreciate everyone. Awesome. Appreciate your help here, support as usual. A lot of insights, help square me away on some stuff. Until next time, take care.